The night that Captain Chauncey and his men killed my daddy, they took him in the shed and hung him up like Jesus. They beat him all night long. When they thought he was going to die, they would pour cold water on him to wake him up so they could beat him some more. In the morning, they opened the doors to the shed, and they said my mama almost didn't recognize her. Since she breathed so, they thought she was going to die too. But she knew she couldn't do that because she had something else to do. So she just prayed and asked the Lord to give her strength. He did. And 6 months later, she gave birth to me. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name means Ale. And she was right. The Lord did give her strength. She held on till she gave birth to me. And then she gave up the ghost. She was 20 years old when she had me. They say she really died of a broken heart. I sure wish I could have gotten to know her. She was something else. Guess that's where I get it from. My master said that's one of the things he loved most about me. I had fire. I would have loved for her to meet my Matthew. She would have loved him too. Folks say he reminded him of my daddy. I was glad to hear that because my daddy was a good man. When I first laid eyes on Matthew, I knew he was the one for me. He was just as sweet as he could be. I don't believe God ever made a man better than him. He always said the same thing about me. Of course, he didn't always feel that way. At first, he didn't pay no mind to me at all. Until one Sunday morning, we were sitting in the Lord's house, and the Holy Ghost hit him on the top of the head. Must have come out of his foot because he jumped up and went to dancing all over that church. Like to tow it up. Folks was getting all out the way. Because he was a big man. And I guess some of them thought they was going to get hurt. But I wasn't worried. I know the Lord had him. And you know when the Lord got you, can't nothing or nobody bring no harm to you. Well, y'all, he must have praised the Lord all day long, you see. Folks had long gone home. Even the preacher was gone. But I stayed right there. I figure if the Holy Ghost had me like that, it'd be pretty sad to wake up and find that I was the only one around. So I stayed. And when it was all over, he sat down next to me and cried like a baby. We was married a month later. We stayed together for 75 years. Folks used to ask me, Sally, how in the world you stay with one man all them years? I tell them like this, if he wasn't a man, I could have stayed with him. You see, even though I never got the chance to know my dad, I know he loved my mom. That's one of the things everybody remembers most about him, how much he loved my mom. So I know to look for that curse when I was looking for my mate. And I saw that day in that church how much love was in my Matthew because of how he loved the Lord. And I tell you something else about my Matthew. The Lord gave me a gift. Y'all, that man could take a piece of wood and turn it into something of sheer beauty right before your eyes. And I'll never forget. See, one of his jobs was to gather wood for the big house. And old Captain Chauncey had made a deal with Matthew. He told him if he got the wood every night, he could keep all that didn't fit in the tub. We wasn't supposed to know any better, but that was one of his little ways of making up for all the trouble he had caused our family. Well, y'all, every night after he finished his chores, Matthew would bring home 3 or 4 pieces of wood. And he'd go to work on one piece that was left. Y'all, sometimes he would get through till way in the morning. I'd sit right there with him and watch him work. Sometimes we talked. Sometimes I sang to him while he carved. All this you see here, Sunday meeting, folks would walk over to our place just to see what he had done. And he always gives somebody something before the day was gone. Most of the best times of my life was spent just me and him. I used to love for him to wash my hair, and he used to love to do it. He used to call me woolly head. Now that made me some kind of mad. He know it too. Lord, that man was something else. Now let me tell y'all something. Times was pretty hard most of the time, but sometimes, believe it or not, it was pretty good, even on the plantation. And I tell you, you got yourself some folks that love you, it ain't nothing you can't get through. That's just about how all of us made it. And not just through slavery, but through freedom too. That's the reason I come to talk to you today. And I'm going to get right to the point, because I'm old, and I ain't got time to waste. First of all, I want y'all to know that me and your ancestors have been watching over you. And for the most part, y'all been doing pretty good. However, there are a few things y'all done got away from. One of the most important things you done forgot is how to take care of your children. It's done got to the point where your children is just about running you or raising themselves. And the ones that ain't raising themselves is raising their brothers and sisters that y'all ain't got time for. Now I know in this day and age, with the economy the way it is, everybody in the house just about got to work. It look like to me that sacrifice is being made is your children. That's why they growing up shooting you, because they don't know you from Joe Blow the Rag Man. They left their cars, the bacon, that rape, steal. And the ones that do make it to 15 and 16, they got their cellular phones all on the ears, driving fancy cars, got fingernails out to here, and they ain't working nowhere in town. But y'all buying them instead of raising them. Then when they get grown, they're expected to go out into the world and take care of themselves. Well, how can they, when they ain't been taught nothing except how to extend their hand? So what happens to them? Girls end up with some trifling man that's about to beat them to death, and the boys in a penitentiary. And y'all taught them that they don't have to work for what they want. Most of them wouldn't know how to warm food without a microwave. So, let me make some suggestions. First, I want you to recognize that you didn't get to where you were overnight, so you ain't gonna fix it overnight. Amen. So let me give you a start. I want everybody in here, from this day forward, to set aside at least 1 or 2 hours a day just for your children. And for those men who ain't with the mother of your children, that includes you. If you got any kind of working relationship with the mother, you need to work it out where you can spend some time with them every day. And y'all mothers need to let them do it without interfering. He ain't come to see you. He come to see the children. Get out the way and let him. And I'm not talking to the child abusers and the molesters. It takes somebody with a high authority to be there with them. I'm talking to normal, everyday folks. And daddies, if them women don't want to act right, call them babies on the phone. Let them know you care. But y'all start making some time for your children on a daily basis. And I guarantee you'll see a change in them. Most of them just want somebody, anybody, to pay them some kind of attention. And you know how that is, because most of you grew up wanting the same thing. But the only way the cycle is going to be broken is if you break it. So make some sacrifices for your children and make them a priority. Will you do that? Yeah. Yes. Okay. I want y'all to consider adopting a single parent. Well, somebody said, hey, yo, what you mean? What you mean? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm talking about adoption by the Spirit. this is not to put down y'all men, but truth be told, there are a lot of single women out here doing the best they can with what they got. Most of them got just about enough to get by. The proud ones won't tell you, but I'm telling you, you need some help. And I ain't talking to just daddies. I'm talking to everybody that's in a position to help ease the strain. Single parenting is hard. And I know that just about everybody in here knows at least one single parent that's out there trying her best to do the right thing and provide a decent life for herself and their children. Most of you got them right there in your own families. Well, if you do know somebody like that, here's a few suggestions. Go to the store and buy a few things and drop them off to them once a month for no reason at all. Put a few dollars in an envelope with their name on it and slip it in their locker or desk without them knowing who it comes from. Fill up their gas tank. Treat them to lunch. Invite them to church with you or to a movie every now and then. These are things that will help ease the strain of one female having to carry the weight of the world on her shoulders. You'd be amazed at how inspiring just a little help can be. Not only for the receiver, but for the giver as well. There are a lot of lonely people in this world today, young and old alike. And all most of them need is to know that there's somebody out there who cares about them. And those of you who are in a better position in life can help with that. But keep in mind that you need to pick somebody that ain't gonna take advantage of you and try to take you to bed with them. Just because you meet somebody of the opposite sex, don't mean you supposed to sleep with them. I'm talking about building friendships. Y'all proud single women, learn how to accept help when it comes to your hair. Y'all go back to having fun with one another. Get together like we used to and have a backyard barbecue, then picnics and a talent show. You know, a lot of y'all got folks right in your own families that's been blessed with talents. You don't even know about it. And go back to having some respect for one another again. Take care of your own instead of looking for somebody else to do it for you. Right. Don't you know that if each and every one of you would take care of your own neighborhood, the nation would take care of itself? That's right. Y'all men, form a cleanup committee and get some of these boys out there behind it and have them help you once a week to clean up their own block. Not the whole neighborhood, just 1 or 2 blocks, and teach them to take some pride where they live. Malcolm X said, each woman, teach one. Well, that's how you start, by setting an example. There comes a time when ain't nobody out there but you. Be out there anyway. It ain't gonna cost you nothing but a little time and 2 trash bags. One of the things that's most disturbing is the fact that somehow y'all been convinced that nasty goes along with Paul. Well, we ain't never had too much of nothing, but what we did have, it was clean. Yeah. I heard somebody say, the ghetto is the ghetto because we made it that. That's the truth, ain't it now? So y'all clean up your neighborhoods. And it don't matter where you live, just clean it up. Even if you have to go to where your children or your grandparents live. Just help out wherever you can. Watch how you'll start hearing folks say, don't throw that out there. There's the battle coming. We gonna have to pick that up. Amen. And y'all ladies, start some kind of a team to help your girls out. Keep them from losing themselves to these boys. Start a softball team or a volleyball team. Some children can't afford to take classes nowhere. But they come to your house, go to the community center, learn how to sew or cook. Some of you was cheerleaders or dancers back in the day. Get yourself a group of girls and work with they own. You'd be surprised at the difference a simple smile will make in the life of a child. Sometimes folks want to participate in the lives of their children, but they don't know how. So, for those of you who have the patience and talent to work with them, work with them. Now, I know a lot of you probably saying, I don't have time for anything like that. And for the most part, that's probably true. But I got sense enough to know that you make time for anything that's important to you. Your children ought to be important to you, because that's your future. If you look at the news, you'll see where most of ours is ended up. You ought to make your children watch the news with you, so they'll see for themselves what's going on out there in the world. I suggest you do all you can to save the ones that can be saved. Amen. If you got time for R. Kelly, certainly you can make time for your children. Now, for y'all with these little demon children, that's always getting into trouble. I suspect that part of the problem with them is that most of them are bored. They've got too much time on their hands. But they ain't lost. They too can be saved. It'll just take a lot more work with them than it will for the rest. There again, somebody with a higher authority than me would have to deal with them too. But one thing I can tell you is that you need to know your children and tell the truth about them. If you know your child is special, keep them close to you. You have them. Turn that thing loose on the rest of the world. One of the ways I suggest you get to them is to keep them so busy that they'll be too tired to get into trouble. Put them to work, make them go to school, do their homework, clean up, cook, wash clothes, run errands, paint the house. Anything else you can do. You never know what hidden talents you'll discover. That way, parents, that would free up a lot of time for you to put in with each other. Which brings me to my next point. And this ain't gonna take no whole lot of talking. You better put in some time just for one another, because if you don't, I guarantee that somebody else will. For y'all women that's too tired to take care of your man. Susie Q down the road there ain't too tired. Nowadays, women put it all on a platter and serve it up daily while you sleep. And men, if y'all want to be served like that, you need to do all you can to make sure your woman ain't too tired. Help her out around the house. You go pick up the church. Take everybody out to eat, or get on the grill and you cook. Don't wait for her to ask you for your help. Volunteer. That's right. You'd be surprised what a well-rested woman will do. Paycheck is all your women need. You better think again. Most women can take care of themselves financially. So Leroy ain't got to have no money at all. But you better believe that every time Leroy sees her, excitement's gonna be in his eyes. He gonna greet her with a smile and a hug. Leroy gonna call her in the middle of the day and whisper something sweet in her ear. He ain't forgot how to hold her and caress her like you used to. And that's part of the reason folks had such staying power back in the day. In the 75 years me and Matthew was together, we never stopped holding hands. Even when we didn't like each other too tough, we still held hands. You see, there's something about the touch of a loved one that can somehow ease whatever you may be going through or thinking. If you're with somebody you love right now, man, woman, or child, take their hand right now. Come on, grab it. Don't let go. Give it some security, don't you? That's what y'all got to get back. Y'all got to get back to showing up loving one another. You got to go back and remember the day that child was born and the joy it brought in your life. Go back and remember the vows you made before the Lord and how you felt about one another when you made them. That brings me to the last thing I want to talk to you about. Y'all, let me tell you something. Since the beginning of time, the Lord has wanted us to do two things. Listen and obey. And since the beginning of time, we as a people have refused to do so. My generation and my mama's generation are not the first ones to endure slavery. Slavery has been going on since before the days of Pharaoh. And all the time we've gotten ourselves into bondage, it has been because we simply refuse to do what thus said the Lord. All the instructions you need are right there in the Word. The Lord even sent an example as to how He wanted us to live. And we still find ourselves right back where we started. It is often said that there is nothing that the Lord can't do. Well, while that is the truth, there's been one thing He has not done up to this point, and that's to change the minds of former slaves. You still won't listen, and you still won't obey. And don't you know that if you would take the time to listen and learn His will, you wouldn't have to go through half as much as you go through today. If y'all could just learn to love one another more, you could cure a whole lot of things. Just learn to love one another. And don't you know that if our forefathers had listened and obeyed, we wouldn't have had to endure what we did. But I want you to listen to me today. And listen good, children. This world is in a horrible state of affairs. But it's not too late to change. And you can contribute if you would just start by taking care of you and yours. Nobody's asking you to go out there and save the world. But you are expected to do all you can to save your own. You worked hard so that you could be in a position to do just that. Please, man. Please, sir. Don't let the work we've done go in vain. We worked hard so that you all could be sitting here like you are. Y'all treat each other better than you've been. Take care of your children. Go spend some time with your parents and your grandparents. Their days ain't long for this world. But more than anything else, y'all have got to learn to lean and depend on Jesus. He's your saving grace. And if you don't remember anything else I've said today, you remember this. It don't matter where you've been, what you've done, or what you got. I'm here to tell you that it's not too late. And you have always got a place in God's heart. God bless you.